YouTube? This is yours truly, Dre the Plug, reporting live with some more technical heat. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button below. Make sure y'all hit that bell below so y'all can stay notified every single time I drop new technical heat. But let's get into it, man. Let's jump right back into these interviews. I just finished a whole bunch of sponsorship product videos, so definitely go check all of those out. Some of them I never even seen in person, so I thought it was really dope. And then on top of that, also did a couple of electronic projects, so definitely go check out those previous videos I did. But now I'm about to jump right back into my interview videos where I interview different people all across the country. Let's get into it. Roll the clip.
Hello, my name is ucheeuboh. I'm born and raised in Nigeria. I came over to Houston a few years ago, but I studied at the illustrious PVAMU University, specifically computer engineering. And right now I am an engineer in Google Cloud, based out of the Austin office. Now, one thing I want to mention is my new SaaS platform that will be coming out later this year. It is a social media automation tool. And for those of you who have a day job and family responsibilities, it's tough to balance a social media presence, right? So that's what this tool helps with. Imagine being able to spend an hour creating content for the next 3 to 6 months on your social media platforms.
All right, well, so what exactly made you want to jump into the tech field?
Well, tech itself, I think it's very empowering. I'm a creative naturally, and the ability to create solutions to problems, it's something I value. I remember when I started my education at Purview, I initially came in as a chemistry major, funny enough. I didn't like chemistry too much, just a little too much math and chemistry, ironically enough. But then I jumped into the engineering side with chemical engineering, then I jumped over to electrical engineering, then I landed on computer engineering. Right, fun fact, if I had more time, in essence, I would have switched to computer science. But I'm glad I had that computer engineering background. It gives me more visibility into how software works, all the way from the hardware to the software systems. So getting into tech, it's been amazing, and I just love the creative power behind it.
All right, so from being in tech, so all the way from the beginning, from being in college, all the way until being inside of the tech industry, what would you say is the biggest benefit?
So some of the benefits I've experienced when being in tech, because this is actually my second industry. I initially was in the supply chain management field, and I transitioned over to engineering. One of the benefits that I enjoy every day is innovation. Being able to solve problems in new and creative ways that has impact on people's lives. Next bit is work-life balance. I like my life, and I don't want to spend most of it working. I want to be able to do what I want when I want, and tech provides that. Next one is just finances. There's good money in tech, and yeah, it's a very good draw there. And the last bit is opportunity, right? Tech is only going to get more complex. It is only going to grow, and there is no better time for anybody who's interested in it to get into the field.
All right, so with what you know now, after actually getting a degree, working at IBM, and now working for Google, what would you say will be the best route when it comes down to actually learning code from the beginning? If you was to go back in time, what would you tell your younger self if you wanted to start coding right now?
So first, I would say focus on the fundamentals, right? If you want to learn how to code, learn how to do it properly. A lot of these things you can go back and learn, but it's much easier when you start with the fundamentals because it allows you to build things in industry standard ways. Next bit is patience. Be patient. It is a process. There is a lot to learn. It takes time. So be patient with the process. Next is be open to constant learning. You cannot avoid it. You will learn something new just about every day. That is normal. It doesn't mean you don't know what you're doing. That's just how it is. Next one, and probably the most important, is community, right? Find yourself a community of folks who are like you, who are looking to do the same thing, because there's only so much you can do by yourself, right? Having that community support is extremely important.
All right, so based on being in tech, in college, in the industry, what's something that you did not expect from the both of them?
So when I was in school, one of the things I did not expect from this industry is just how layered it is. Everything is built on the shoulders of amazing software that took time, right? All the way from the hardware to the intersection between hardware and software to the software. Even software has layers. So understanding layers is it's very important, right? Both in school and in industry. Now, when it comes to industry specifically, I want to mention the autonomy over your career. You really can do what you want to do. And to some people, that's a scary thought, but make sure you take advantage of that. So know where you want to go, at least an idea of when you want to go, and be brave and be strong and ask for it. Another piece is passion, right? There is a lot of passion in tech industry. People love what they do. They love the technologies and the impact it has on society. So those are some of the things I did not expect when coming into the field.
All right, well, so you mentioned that you already have your computer engineering degree, and now you're saying that you want to go back and get your computer science master's. So, what's the motivation behind that? Why do you feel like you want to get both of those instead of just having the computer engineering degree?
Good question. The first and I believe most important is to further my understanding and opportunities to do research. There's only so much industry can teach you. There's only so much you can have in industry. Going back to just the environment of education is it's a really good place for ideas to grow, and it's a good place for community as well. Lastly is simply professional growth. Yes, I know a lot of people say you don't need education in this field, but it is still very, very important to have, right? There's a lot education gives you that, again, as I mentioned, you don't get from the industry, right? Personally, I think it's fantastic for anybody who wants to do it, and I highly suggest it if you can. The reason I chose to transition from computer engineering to more of a software focus is one, mainly because of iteration. It's a little more challenging to iterate with hardware as opposed to software, right? With software, iteration is king. You can spit out versions quickly. You don't have to worry about manufacturing anything. You can just come up with an idea, develop it, and put it out there by yourself, right? With hardware, there are a lot more loopholes and a lot more regulations, right? So that's why, and I simply enjoy software more. I've given hardware a try. I spent 4 years doing it. I find that my passion really lies in the software field.
All right, so after actually getting in with IBM and Google, what would you say is the interview process like? What exactly should you expect going into it? If I'm somebody right now who's in tech or even a computer engineer, what type of questions should I already expect before even going into the interview?
So my answer is going to focus around technical positions, right? I know the experience will be different based on the role you're looking for, but from what I've seen interviewing with IBM and at Google, there are three main parts that they like to focus on for the interview. The first being the technical competency. So can you do what you're trying to sign up to do? And if this is a software engineering role, so expect technical questions. Lead code it's basically lead code. Another is behavioral, right? So are you good at the job? They check, and they also check, can you fit in this company, right? That's very important, and they find that out through behavioral questions. And lastly is just, do you align with the company's views, right? Do you understand why the company does what it does and what things are important to the company? Now, with this, there are at least few points of advice I wanted to mention. The first being advertise your strengths. We all have weaknesses, but make sure you advertise your strengths. Show a growth mindset. Nobody knows everything. Nobody's supposed to know everything, but show that you can learn if needed. Explain your process. Answers are cool, but the process is the most important because it is repeatable. And make sure that the role is a good fit for you. Do not get Don't get bogged down by, hey, I need to get into this company, and forget that you need to make sure that this role is a good fit for you and what you want to do.
All right, so what's your take on transitioning from different tech companies?
Transitioning companies, it's a big decision. There's a lot that goes into joining a company that changes a lot about how you can live your life. But there are three main things I focus on when looking to transition. First is finding an opportunity that aligns with your growth. We all get into the industry, at least hopefully, get into the industry with a goal of where we'd like to be, right? Personally, I had my midterm, my long term, my near term goals, and transitioning is what I use to better align myself with my goals. Um, it's also important to go to a place that you want to learn what they're good at, right? At Google, they're very good at creating many different types of software, and that's one of my main motivation for moving to Google. Another one is mindset, right? Different companies have different cultures, different mindsets, and different ways they do things. You learn those things intrinsically, and they have an impact in your life, right? Meaning you see different ways to approach problems. Like as a Googler, I've learned so many ways of solving problems and dealing with problems and managing teams that I did not at my previous company, right? These are just different ways of operating. Not saying one is better than the other. Last bit is I see it as more of a journey, right? The companies you go to, the impact you have on people you work with, it kind of accumulates through your career, right? So at the end of the career, at least this is how I see it. At the end of your career, where do you see yourself going? What impact do you see yourself having? And that's how I think, and that's what helps guide my decisions.
All right, so being in the tech industry, what would you say is some of your tech side projects?
I think it's extremely important to have a side hustle. It allows you to grow in ways that you may not get at work. Right. With this, I'm excited to share that I am working on a social media automation platform. I spent 6 months trying to post at least one post per week for 6 months. I didn't realize how difficult it is. There's so many challenges, not just balancing work, but also personal life and trying to have a social life. It's difficult to manage all of that. So that's what this platform aims to solve. I want it to be easy for anybody to come on this platform and easily manage their social media presence, well, either being posting or managing communications on these platforms, interacting with the audience. I want it to be as simple and as easy as possible so you can spend more of your time living your life. I plan to release the first version of this platform later this year, and I cannot wait. Super excited.
All right, so that concludes the interview. Tell the people your contact information if they want to get any more updates about your business, about the website that you have cooked up, and if they have any extra computer engineering questions.
Well, this was a lot of fun. Thanks, Andre, for this opportunity. For those of you who are interested in following me on social media, you can find me on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram at ucheeuboh, and that is UCHE, another E, UBOH. I post content, and I really am excited to get this platform out to you all. Thanks again, Andre, for this.
And that concludes this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. It really do help my channel when it comes down to the YouTube algorithm. If you guys have any questions regarding anything, just hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on the gram at DreThePlug123. And then also go check out my other YouTube channel. This is actually my second channel. My first one was called Andre ClassicCuts. I basically go in and give tutorials about all types of different haircuts. I actually show people how to do different type of things with the clippers that has never been done, and I pretty much go into detail as to why certain things happen. So definitely go check out that channel. Besides that, be on the lookout for my next content that's dropping. Be on the lookout for it because it's coming real soon. And I'm out.